So are the colleges starting soon? Are the students resuming soon?
We don't know, sir, because, you know, I think UGC has announced 15 September for the return of, the beginning of session. Let's see. The curve is going down in Delhi, NCR, the curve of infection. So I think maybe in a month, we might start seeing maybe a little bit of the light coming back.
Yes, we hope that too.
Yeah, Indian-wise, it's going up. It's still kind of peaking as country-wise, but as Delhi, I think it's now kind of indicating that it's reversing. You know, I'm an Arogya Setu app user, so every day I check to see what's happening. So it's looking, like maybe things will improve soon. So we are hoping, because for us, 4 months without students is very difficult, because this is, and for you, 4 months without clients is the same, right? Because, our students, we live through the students for the students. So they're not there, it's very tough,
Exactly.
Dr. Garima, you'll give us the goal?
Yes, Sunil sir will. Yes, we'll do that. I will just. Yes, Sunil sir, please.
Ma'am, we are live on Facebook now. We're ready to go.
Okay, yes. Okay, I think so. We'll start. Anshu, you can start with the due permission of all the panelists. Are we good to go? Yes? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Anshu, ma'am, we are live.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I, Anshu Raval, Assistant Professor, Hotel and Tourism Business School, Ansel University, warmly welcome all of you to our second webinar of our webinar series, Hospitality 2.0, NCCO, New Normal Careers, Challenges and Opportunities. Theme for today's webinar is Reclaiming Customers' Confidence in Hotels, Planning Strategies for a Stronger Comeback. As we all know that this is the need of the hour, and it's the time when tourism and travel brands to recreate and reposition their strategies post-COVID-19. As we all know, in the daily life also, we are seeing that this coronavirus, this pandemic, has started penetrating in the customer's mind, and ultimately it has started affecting the psychology of the customer, and which has resulted into the change in the buying culture of the customers. Now the customers are afraid to buy a very small commodity, and each and every industry is working to strengthen the relationship of the brand and of a customer. For example, in our previous webinar, Ms. Bindya Yadav, the executive housekeeper of Roseate Hotel Resorts, she shared a strategy, she shared an initiative which has been taken by that hotel. For example, she said that they'll be soon installing UV rays sanitizers at the entrance of the hotel, and they'll be sanitizing each and everything which is coming inside from the lobby, which is ultimately which will enhance or strengthen the confidence in the customers, and which may lead to the advancement in the business. So these are certain strategies which each and every hotel has started working upon. And because this is the time that every customer every brand should recreate and reposition their strategies for the brand. Everything comes with the with a positive side also. So this may open new avenues to the brand, and they may be able to influence the customer behavior. Now, taking this thought ahead, I would like to take a pause to take you through in the today's webinar schedule. First, Mr. Lauro Giro, Director Vatel, will introduce you to our prestigious Vatel school. Then our esteemed speaker, Mr. Tushar, L&D Manager, Vivanta, New Delhi, Dwarka, and Gateway Resorts, Gurgaon, will be sharing his views on the theme. Then followed by our another prominent speaker, Ms. Shilpi Sharma, Complex Training Manager, Westin Gurgaon and Westin Sohna. She will be enlightening us with her ideas and thoughts. Then our Chief Marketing Officer will brief us about the admission process. And then it will be followed by our university video. Now I would request Mr. Lauro Giro, the director, Firstly, I would like to introduce him. Mr. Loro is a fine hospitality professional with wide knowledge and 38 years of experience. I would request Loro, sir, to address our guests and speakers. And I would like to add that he is also the Campus Life Director at the Ansel University. Please, Loro, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Anshu. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Shilpi ma'am. Welcome to Tushar. It's very nice to have you with us. Thank you very much for spending some time. You've always been very supportive of our school by coming to campus. Now you are supporting us online as well. So a big thank you to you.
Thank you.
Warm welcome to all my colleagues and students, parents, and fraternity, people of the hospitality, world that are today here with us and in attendance to this webinar. I'm just here to speak a little bit about Vatel so that I'll introduce the school. We have a say that when you choose Vatel, you choose success. We said because we have a reason to say it. We've had since 2015, when we started this program in Ansel University, had a lot of success in terms of our students becoming seasoned professionals all over the world. And that has been a really good thing for us. So Vatel starts in 1981 in France, founded by a gentleman called Mr. Seban. And he himself was an hotelier and had difficulties to find staff that was trained enough to his standards. So he decided to create a school and start training his own people, basically. And from one school in Paris, they become 2 schools and 3 schools and 4 schools. And today we have a model where we have more than 50 campuses across the world. 31 countries have a Vatel campus or more. We are lucky. In India, we only have 1 campus, and it is in Ansel University in Gurgaon. So we are quite proud of that. I'll show you a few numbers about Vatel also, if we can have the next slide. Yes, thank you. So as I was saying, 50 campuses in 31 countries. Worldwide business schools in terms of size, also in terms of quality. We've been recognized by professional as the best hospitality school in the world. We have 9,000 students total and 35,000 alumni. It's very important to understand the network bit, because Vatel it's about the network. 50 schools it's a lot of schools, and these networks, it gives us the ability to do a lot of things with our students, send them abroad, free of cost for different sorts of programs. They are able to learn a curriculum which is completely international and which is the same across all the schools. That's again another good thing about Vatel. Because of 35,000 alumni across the board, across the industry, across the world, lots of feedback from these people in terms of what should be in the curriculum and not. And I know Dr. Garima is going crazy updating the curriculum all nearly on a yearly basis, and the team as well, because that's the way we function. We don't want to teach things that are from the past. We want to teach things that are in the future, because that's the way the industry functions. We see it right now. Because of COVID, we'll have to rethink ourselves, we'll have to rethink the jobs, and that's what Vatel does best. We're always on top of things and ahead of things. Next slide, please. I think this, talks better than words. If you see this map, you can understand what kind of network we are talking about. Of course, mostly centered in Europe because it's a French school, but you can see that in North America and South America, Africa is becoming quite big now, and Asia as well. And you see us here in the middle in Gurgaon. So that's the network that I was talking to you about. Next slide, please. So this network, as I was saying, help us send our students in different various programs across the world. And we have different type of internship. The 10-week summer internship in our flag school in Nîmes, in the south of France, where we have a hotel with 75 rooms and suites, banqueting, and 2 restaurants, which is exclusively run by students of Vatel Nîmes. In the summer, 250 students from all over the world converge in Nîmes They are there free of cost. They give them hostel, the school, the hotel, everything is in the same building. So the students are safe. And we send them there for 10 weeks and they have an opportunity to customers, because the hotel is open to people from outside. People come on vacation. Nîmes is a nice town in the south of France. It's nice weather. So the students have also the opportunity to network with other students from other countries. And everybody knows that today networking is the most important thing when you want to have some sort of a career. I'll give you a small example. One of our students, which is in the next program I will discuss in Montenegro, went for an internship in a hotel there for a couple of weeks, and they found him so great. His name is Amandip Singh, that they told him, you know, when you graduate, you come back here, we'll give you a job. So, you know, by the way, by the fact that he's traveled, he's met people, he's gone to a hotel, he secured his own job for after graduation. So these are the things that are possible because of that network. A unique program of exchange student also that we have been running since 2015. As I said, right now, as we speak, we have students in Montenegro, in Switzerland, and they are undergoing their exchange program. They have studied for 6 months in the Montenegro school, Vatel Montenegro, and they have done 6 months internship there as well. They'll be back on 1st of September to India, where they will go into their 3rd year. So basically, it's an opportunity to stay 1 full year abroad. And I mean, I don't have to tell you what kind of a, you know, effect it could have on your resume, you know, this kind of experience. And also, of course, in our program, which is a 4-year program, we have 22 weeks internship that the students can do abroad or in India. Unfortunately, we have a lot of students that had gone to Mauritius this year. We had to repatriate them when the COVID hit us in March, in February. We took the decision. Unfortunately, they had to stop their internship because we were worried about what could have happened to them, obviously. The international students in Montenegro and Switzerland, we could not repatriate, so we decided to let them there. Montenegro is very safe. It's COVID-free as we speak also. So Switzerland is also pretty okay. So we left them there and they continued their internship, and they're quite happy about the entire program. Next slide, please. So this is the Marco Polo exchange program that I was talking about. You can see, I think it's a Mandip on the photograph there in this hotel in Montenegro, as a matter of fact. So it's an opportunity to travel outside. I think I don't have to tell anybody that today having also international exposure is very important. We are on, you know, we are in a world where we need to explore, we need to expand, and we need to understand what's going on outside, because it's important, you know, when you work in this hospitality industry. It's our strength, because we know, you know, what's happening in other countries, and it's good to, you know, meet new people, have a new cultural experience new food. You know, sometimes our students, they go to Nîmes in the summer and they are, you know, vegetarian. When they get there, you know, they call me and they cry for 3 days because they say we cannot eat anything. So I tell them eat salad and vegetable, but sir, it's very bland. But you put some, you know, green chili that you've brought from India, pep it up a bit, and you know, that's the way it is. And after a few days, they get used to it, because that's the way human nature is. And it's a good experience for people to be able to live that kind of things, and it makes you stronger. And our industry today needs people who are capable of adapting. Adapting is a very big thing. And as you've seen, all these hoteliers we have today, they have had to adapt. If they were not able to adapt, they would not survive. And that's why we are pushing our students to have that adaptability and be able to cope under any circumstances. That is the key word in hospitality. So that's what we are trying to do, and that's what Vatel is so helpful for. Another great thing is that you get a degree from Ansel University, but you also get a degree from Vatel International. It's a French degree, so you have an Indian degree and a French degree, a European degree now. So it's a great opportunity again, because it means that, you know, you'll be a Vatel alumni and you'll be an Ansel University alumni, and that's you know, something quite important. So we are also happy to have that opportunity with Vatel. Our facility, we renovated 2 years ago. Now we have 4 kitchen, our BTK, QTK, ATK. I won't go into details over this. We also have a bakery, so we are able to do our own breads. We have 2 restaurants. They open every day. They are run by the students, and the food is being prepared by the students. The service is being done by students. It's open to faculty and staff of the university. And I think we are having a good equation here, and the students are, you know, being able to do their practical that way. And you see, Vatel restaurant is as good as a restaurant standalone in any part of the city. Housekeeping lab, front office lab, with the necessary, of course, software to be able to learn front office. And next, please. So usually I like when Dr. Garima does this, because she's better at this than me. This is more like educational, but today she's asked me to do it, so I'll do it. So the Bachelor in Hospitality Management that we propose is a 4-year program. As you know now, it's the new norm from UGC. There could not be anymore, no longer any 3-year program. So 4-year program. First year is a foundation year where you'll be introduced to the fundamental of our business, of hospitality, and the core and ancillary areas. So core areas, of course, food production, room division, food and beverage service. The second year is more operational. I'd say it's more oriented on this know-how and, hands-on and, of operation. So there is a 22-week internship, as I was saying earlier. The third year is more management. So what does it mean? It means HR, it means accounts, it means marketing, and all things that go around to make you a manager, because also what we want at Vatel is to create managers. We are not here to, people think that, you'll become a waiter. No, there's no waiter story here. We want you to be a manager, to be somebody who is leading. So that's why we have put this management in the third year, where you can learn that. 22 weeks internship again, but this time with a little more emphasis on what you are interested in. Students change from the first year to the second year to the third year. They kind of decide where they want to go and what the career will look like. And we, in the third year, try to have a 22-week internship for them, which is more into the subject they have chosen. So management, and also very important, entrepreneurship. We are very big on entrepreneurship. We want our students to become their own bosses. This is very interesting also. Open a restaurant, open a cafe, open a bakery. And, that's what we are trying to push also in our students. And fourth year, the specialization into, whatever you've decided to undergo as a career. And we prepare you for the industry. Basically, all that soft skills that has gone on for 4 years has now come to this apogee at the fourth year. We prepare you for interviews, etc., etc. MBA 2-year, 4 semester. That's the roadmap of the MBA. Managerial formation, operation, leadership, internship. That's what we do in 4 semester. And it's a very good program. The curriculum has been redesigned completely by Dr. Garima. She has done a wonderful job with that. So, it's a solid MBA, and we cannot, we are expecting to get a good admission in this. I think I'm pretty much done. Thank you very much for your time. I'm sorry if I've spoken a bit too much. I get carried away. Now I'll leave the floor to our two distinguished speakers for the day. And thank you very much. Anshu, back to you, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Laura sir.
You most welcome.
Now I would like to welcome our first speaker and an excellent hotelier, jack of all trades, Mr. Tushar Abrol, L&D manager, Vivanta, New Delhi, Dwarka, and Gateway Resorts, Gurgaon. He is one of the acclaimed names in the Indian hotel industry. He is a hospitality expert with more than 13 years of experience with Indian hotels, including L&D, operations, and management training assignments with sound exposure in front office. A postgraduate in international hospitality and service industry management. He is a certified internal assessor for business excellence by Taj, a certified internal auditor for food safety management systems. He has been nominated in the top 3 L&D managers for Taj Awards for business excellence in Vivanta. He is an alumnus of IHMA Aurangabad. We all welcome you to Shakra. Over to you, sir, now.
Thank you, Anshu. Thank you, Lauren. I think it's a pleasure to connect with not only the student, I mean, all of you, but also the students. We've been missing students for a long time, students as well as guests, and I think this constant touch will help us also stay on our toes. So thank you very much for this opportunity. Last few months have gone a lot in, we very commonly say learn, unlearn, relearn. So I think last 3 months have given us an opportunity to look back at our businesses, look back at our processes, and see how we need to reopen the industry with new processes, new measures, new confidence building measures, new operational standards. A lot of research and hard work has happened at the back end. And I think as and when the industry opens, now you are seeing that in India, a lot of cities are opening up. Just this week, Mumbai hotels and Maharashtra hotels have also opened up. So as the hotels open up, the guests will actually see a change in the way they experience hospitality. So there will be a bigger balance, finer balance between hospitality and safety. And I think that's the need of the hour. And we are confident that when we open back, the guests will be able to see that in our operations. I would like to now share my screen and make a short presentation while I talk. Just give me a moment. Anshu, could I share my content?
Sir, actually, Sunil, sir, can you just please help Tushar, sir?
Just to share the content, I think it's disabled.
Just a
Okay.
second.
Tushar,
Yes.
sir, Sunil, sir is enabling it.
Yeah. So, in the meantime, what rightly Laurent also said is about training youngsters for the future. So I think that is also very important right now, because what we learned about 2 years back, whether it was housekeeping or front office processes, the way we welcomed guests 1 year back or even 2 months back has changed. The way we serve the guest at the table will change. So I think going forward, we will have to adapt our hospitality to the new world, and whether it is front office, housekeeping, F&B, or whether it is management, the management behaviors, the leadership behaviors will also change. So I will actually present a glimpse of what our thoughts are in terms of these changing behaviors and changing processes through this short presentation.
Tushar sir, the option has been given to you. You will see an option of sharing right next to the chat box. So the option says more options.
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Yes. You able to see my screen now?
Yes, sir, we can.
Yes, sir, it's visible. We can see the screen now.
Yes, thank you. So, I will not take long through the presentation, but I think I'll be more interested in having a discussion. But this is just to set the context that in times of post-COVID era, I would say there has been loss in economy overall. But I think that's a short-term period, and we've actually looked at a lot of statistics worldwide, and we see in a lot of places where lockdowns are lifted, industry is now reopening, and we expect the industry to bounce back faster than many other industries. So that is a positive sign. Even in India, if you see, many cities have now opened up. While RevPARs and ARRs have dropped, this will revive. So while we have gone back 10 years in time, I think we will revive maybe the same year, but in the next 2 to 3 years, we should be able to come back to normalcy. Certain countries like China, India, Indonesia are expected to revive faster than countries. And like Laurent also said, there are some places which are COVID free. Even in India, there are some destinations which are COVID free and which have lesser cases, will revive faster than the others. There are travel bans which are getting lifted. The focus will be right now is on getting domestic travelers rather than international travelers. So that's a focus area for the hotels at the moment. And accordingly, your strategies will also shift, especially sales and marketing strategies. Now, when it comes to practices, there will be focus on low touch services. A lot of hotels are calling it contactless services. Our industry has also off late in history we've shied away from technology, but I think these times have taught us that this is the need of the hour, and no more can we live without technology. So whether it is backend processes or even guest interface processes, we are actually now adopting a lot of new technology, new softwares, new systems to enable these contactless services, while at the same time maintaining the hospitality and the warmth. There will be a lot of focus on efficiency, whether it is financial efficiency, human manpower planning. That will be the focus for every business, because every business would want to break even as soon as possible. These are some thoughts from industry leaders. So we've also heard a lot of industry leaders, CEOs, managing directors in the last couple of months, and they feel that there is a need to remove this sense of fear from the market, from the customer, and hence every company is trying to market their new hygiene and safety practices so that the market feels confident in getting back to hotels. And there will be a lot of addressing safety, hygiene, sanitation, and cleaning aspects in the hotel. We will talk more about this in the next few slides. There will be some new concepts that will emerge. So hotels have also been shying away from home delivery, for example, while standalone restaurants have been doing this. But I think today we see a lot of big chains, including the Taj Group and other hotel chains, are actually launching their own home delivery takeaway apps. So this is something which we cannot now run away from. Every hotel, every company needs business, and now we are trying to get as innovative as possible with some, and maybe try out concepts which we did not try earlier. So hospitality at is one concept which we are also trying. So this is the time to convert challenges into opportunities. There are problems, but I think whenever there are problems, new ideas and creations come out, and the companies which are more innovative will really benefit compared to the competitors. So as and when the hotels are opening, you see in this slide that in Europe also different cities open in different dates. Similarly in India also, different cities, different states are opening differently. Some lockdowns are again coming back into force, but this will keep happening. So we have to also keep a focus on which places we need to focus on, which cities we need to focus on. Now, my next part of the presentation will talk about quickly some new age skills and traits. I think this is very important for students and for the industry as a whole, including the education sector. These are the traits that we will be, really looking for and will make you successful in this industry, at least in the next few years to come. So we are talking about first agility. So at every level, whether you are at a staff level, supervisor, manager, executive, corporate office, everywhere, we want to look at leaders who are more agile. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
Very audible.
Yes. Thank you. So agility is going to play a big role, and those who are agile and are able to change faster will thrive better. Two is about innovation. So we spoke about creativity and innovation, and I think every chain is trying to do something different and market it differently so that you gain the confidence of the customer. Third is about safety and hygiene. So gone are the days when we only relied on housekeeping, for example. Today, every department is involved in sanitizing, disinfection. We have learned a lot of new processes, new chemicals. I think a lot of things have been learned from the hospitals. We have bought new equipment, new chemicals. So these are times of learning. I think we have taken up the level of sanitization and disinfection even in our hotels. Four is about sustainability. So businesses which are more efficient through financial resources, people, time, and resources will perform better. So there will be a lot of pressure on costs and overall efficiency. Learning mindset. So relearn, unlearn. What we learned few years back may not be relevant, is what I told you earlier also. So we need to constantly see what is happening, new trends, new processes, and adapt ourselves to the new SOPs. Patience and resilience is your mindset. So how are we able to deal with this ambiguous time? It's uncertain. We don't even know what will happen next month. So we have to constantly keep an eye on the new changes in the macro environment. Government bodies are releasing new circulars, new guidelines almost every week. So the WHO is releasing new research every week. So we have to keep an eye, stay calm, and not only us, as a team, we have to stay calm and help each other. Business acumen. There will be a lot of pressure on business, like we said. So whether you are a restaurant manager or a duty manager or a housekeeping manager, you have to contribute to business. Whether you are a revenue making department or a cost contributing department, there will be expectations from you there as well. So somebody who has a good business acumen really do well even as an operational manager. Guest centricity. There are changes in guest expectations. So from safety first mentality to automated check-ins, expanded sanitization levels. Guests expect us to be more flexible now and more transparent in our policies and operations. There are talks of even displaying our back-end kitchens through cameras so that guests can see the level of sanitization sitting from their rooms. So these are the new expectations which guests will have going forward. Interpersonal skills in your team, how are you managing stress? How are you maintaining teamwork in these challenging times will also be tested in leaders. Technology will play a role, not to say that they will take away our jobs, but definitely they will be a part of every step of our process. So we have to use technology to create better experiences and safer experiences. And finally, multitasking. Anybody who is able to take the task of two specialists, for example, will benefit. So rather than having five associates or five executives in finance or HR, if I have two who can do the role of those five, those two will be really in demand. So somebody who can multitask, somebody who knows more than one cuisine, somebody who knows more than one department will definitely have an edge over somebody else. So now we talk about the strategies for new normal in terms of operations. I'll share a few examples. Uh, the technological world. So whether you are in front office or in F&B, today we will be taking check-ins which are contactless. All documentation will be shared contactless via email, etc. Whether it is ID or a registration form. We are talking about scanning menus and taking the orders and not having a physical menu in our restaurants. So this is how technology will touch almost every guest interaction. There are food delivery applications. Some examples that I'm sharing in front of you from Marriott and IHCL, which have been launched recently. So, again, these are new trends in hotels that we see, which were not existing earlier. In-room dining is the new way to operate. A lot of hotels have opened with only in-room dining, and even those hotels which have, restaurants open, the guests are preferring to order in-room dining, and in-room dining also contactless. So the entire focus has now moved on to private spaces rather than social spaces. Digitization of menus through QR codes. Some hotels are displaying this on the televisions, sharing on email and WhatsApp. So multiple modes are being used by multiple hotels. Hygiene. So there are new sanitization processes, chemicals, equipment, which have been hired by the hotels. Safety and hygiene awareness is being created like never before. Also, you should note that now trainings are also happening virtually. So like we are also doing something which we did not do earlier, even for hotel associates, before they join work on day one, or even I would say day zero, while they're at home, we are educating them on these new standards virtually. Briefings, trainings, even for example, them to come to hotels for little things. Everything is happening via phone and via technology. Redefining the restaurant experience through contactless dining, wearing PPE, buffet options are limited. In fact, we are trying to do away with buffet options. Food is now pre-plated rather than platter to plate. Physical distancing is the norm. These are some examples of how industry is actually marketing it on their websites. So whether it is the Taj group of hotels, the Oberoi, everyone is marketing their safety practices, hygiene measures online, so that it gains confidence in their customers to return back. These are examples from Marriott, Reassure. So in the end, I would just like to say that victory comes from finding opportunities and problems, and necessity is the mother of invention. We need to think through these times and come up with new ways to delight. I will show you, this is a example of the Taj website where you can actually see there's a video also. I will play the video. I think it may not play with the bandwidth, etc. But it's available on our site. And also you see all the measures that the company is taking. For example, learning from best practices around the world, training of employees, moving from touch to technology, adding room for safety, physical distancing, safer rooms. So now we're not even selling rooms back to back. There is a minimum gap of 24 hours to 48 hours before we allot the room to the next guest after complete disinfection. Policies have been adopted, changed. We're also doing a bit for the community. For example, it's serving meals, etc. A lot of organizations are contributing there as well. So with that, I think I'll stop sharing my screen, and with that, I come to the end of my presentation. In a nutshell, we need to learn from these new times. We need to see what the industry is doing across. In fact, we are also learning from across the industry. You know, what are hospitals doing? What are other industries doing? And there are a lot of best practices which we can learn from. So let's not remain in our cocoon. Let's learn from each other, and let's try and innovate, go over and above that. Thank you.
Thank you, Tushar sir. Actually, you have converted COVID era to a learning era, and learning mindset is a major takeaway of this. Is going to be the major takeaway of this session. You know, learn, unlearn, and relearn. It was absolutely, it was very nice to hear and see, and the presentation was also really great. Now I open the session for the questions. Thank you, sir. Now I open the session for the questions.
Participants can type their question in the chat box or the Q&A. I'll share that with the panelists.
Tushar sir would just like to add on a few points of what you said. So in context with it, a lot of us feel that this unprecedented times is all about bad phases. Now, what you have in the last of few of your slides, what you have rightly said is that we can use this time, our students can use this time to upgrade their knowledge. So
Yes.
even we usually hear about the batch of 2020 who are passing out. So what is your suggestion or takeaway for them? What they should do? Because
Yeah, absolutely right. These students are there, they are little, very scared that what is going to happen now. They are not going to get jobs, and what is going to happen to the hospitality industry. So can you, sir, please brief us a little about, what all opportunities are going to be there for these students who are, passing out in this year?
Yes.
See, as far as I know there are certain companies which are right now on hiring freeze, but I think that's a temporary phase. I also see, I'm on a lot of hospitality groups, and we see job postings every day. So literally every day, earlier maybe before COVID, maybe we would see 10 to 20 vacancies every day, but today we see 5. That's the only difference. I mean, it's not gone completely off. I think I will urge the students not to worry about getting a job, because jobs will come maybe today or tomorrow. But what they can do is they can, like I said, they can continue to upskill themselves. So there are a lot of online channels which are available. And if you see even sites like, American Hotel and Lodging Association and other sites have opened up their courses for free for a lot of students during this time. So I think if, students can actually go online, learn. Maybe earlier, if there was no COVID, they would not have that much of time. But today we have the time to spend and invest on ourselves. Many of us, even at manager level and general manager levels, we are doing online courses, online studies, something which we could not have done if we were busy earlier before COVID. So I just use this time and prepare for the interview, so that whenever the interview is, maybe tomorrow, maybe 5 months down the line, whenever it is, maybe we're better prepared than what we could have been. So let's make use of this time and show that we've actually done something about it in the last 5 months. Otherwise, we're just wasting our time. So let's use this time to the best.
And I guess with so much things happening, so many changes happening around, I guess these next 2 years could be like used in a very efficient manner if the students feel that way, that these 2 years, if they can upgrade their knowledge and skills, so they are better prepared for the new normal that you said, that the new industry norms. So that
Yes, so I also see. No, absolutely right. I also see a lot of students going online. I see students creating blogs and videos, and some are opening their own pages. So I think there is a lot of experimentation that they are also doing. So I would urge you to get social, read, research, experiment. Even if you're at home, you can still cook. Those who are interested in that. So don't let this. So find your right channel, find your opportunities. If you want, you can get connected to a lot of mentors who have available. And there is a lot of there are a lot of new resources available now which were not available earlier. So make use of them before they get shut back.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Nice to hear that.
We have a question for the participant, like how will the industrial training be affected by the pandemic?
So I do not think industrial training will. I mean, I am not sure about the summer batch, because the summer training. I mean, we've passed summers, but when the winters are, almost at our doorstep, I think they should not be a problem. A lot of cities, if you know, have started opening up. A lot of hotels have opened up. See, right now the only issue is that even the staff is not coming back to the full capacity. So even the Mumbai hotels and Maharashtra hotels that opened, the government said you have to open back with 30% of your inventory. So when 30% opens, your 30% staff comes back, and remaining staff also sits at home. So first we need to get the associates of the hotel back to the hotel and then have trainees. The second point is about safety. Right now we do not want to expose our learning students to this environment. It is unsafe, especially when some students like to go to metro cities and train in bigger hotels. We don't want you to be away from home. So if you have an opportunity of doing industrial training close to your home, it may not be your favorite hotel, but if you can do it from your home and travel less, that will be easier and safer and recommended from our side. Do not be choosy at this time that I only want to go here and stay alone and travel in local public transport to do my training. Do not expose yourself to such risks because we don't know how long this will last. As I said, it is uncertain. Things can change next month also, which we can't comment at the moment. But going by the current scenario, for the winter training, look at options which are closest to your home, travel less, and that's how you can do your industrial training.
I think also we could also precise that at school level we have already taken the steps. Dr. Garima has already moved all the industrial training, not even to the winter, but to next year for every batches. So we have already taken that step, keeping in mind that we might not be able to send our students right now on internship, not even in the winter. So our school has already taken those steps and factored that in the program.
It's a very good decision. It's a very good decision. If you can amend your curriculum, nothing like that.
Yeah, that has been done. So I think that was a good move from our dean.
Very good, very good.
We have one more question coming in. What kind of SOPs have been modified to take care of the waste management?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
What kind of SOPs have been laid down now for the waste management because of
So
this
we
COVID
have,
pandemic?
yeah, so for every department, we have redone the SOPs. So we have also trained our associates before they even join the hotel virtually. So, how would the new check-in be? What would the new room cleaning process be? What would be the new chemicals used? What will be the new means of taking the order? What are some new, phraseology when you are taking the restaurant reservation? So at every level, I mean, I can't, of course, show you the SOPs over here, but every organization by now is ready with new SOPs for every department. And I think the moment the associates hit the shop floor and the moment the trainees come to the hotels, they will be able to view these. But I think before that, the moment you go to a restaurant or the moment you stay in a hotel, you will also be able to experience it from the guest side. But yes, every department has been touched, and I think there is a new normal, calling it the new normal. So the new normal standards are made for every department.
Right. So question coming in from
Sunil sir, I want to ask. Good morning, Mr. Tushar. I am Chandana. Sir, I wanted to ask you something. We are talking about instilling, guest confidence, but the confidence will only come when the employee are confident coming to the hotels. What are we doing to build confidence in employees, that they feel confident coming to the hotels and working for the guest, and the guests then feel confident about it?
Good question. So there are a lot of measures which we are already taking. So see, the first step itself is about training the associates. The moment you equip the associate with the new safety protocol, the moment he knows how he can be safe, that itself instills confidence in him. Second is also about providing him with the essentials. So we have, for example, procured the new PPEs in Delhi hotels where we are serving. I mean, you should be knowing that in Delhi hotels we are also serving Vande Bharat guests, quarantine guests, and hotels like Vivanta, where I work, we're also serving COVID patients. So, the associates are doing a great job without fear because they have the necessary tools, the suit, the processes are realigned. So, for example, earlier, if you would clean the room every day, now you clean the room only once in a week and wearing the complete PPE. Not just that, we've also given them the stay in the hotel itself so they don't have to travel out, so they're not risking their families. Plus, they're not alone. The managers are also along with them in the hotel, including the general manager. So I think they are also understanding that they have a responsibility at hand for the society. And if your organization has a strong culture, your associates will be ever ready to support in these times. And we've actually seen whether it is Mumbai or Delhi, whether it is serving meals or whether it is making rooms and serving COVID patients also. They have not. I mean, we've not had a single no. They're going out of their way. They're staying in the hotel. See, they don't have to do, it's not busy, I would say. They're not doing shifts like earlier. Probably they will only have breakfast service and then go back to their rooms and rest. come back for lunch service, go back and come back for dinner service. But they are staying in the hotel. They have all the tools and equipment. These are some measures which are making them confident. We also have some new recognition programs. We're also reaching out to their families, for example, and to them, for example, with thank you notes and online recognition. So there are a lot of things that we're doing to keep them engaged and motivated. But the biggest thing which I would feel, which I've seen of late is, by just equipping them with the right tools and knowledge, and by being there along with them shoulder to shoulder in these times in the hotel, that makes them the most confident.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So I'm going to combine two questions here. We've got a couple of questions coming in. So the question that comes out is that when can we expect the hiring to restart? And secondly, what kind of skills a person should be acquiring right now to get the priority for the hiring?
So I will start with the second question. So the skills I've just shown you, if you saw my presentation, I enlisted the 11 skills which we are focusing on. And I think the most important right now at an entry level would be to focus on multitasking and to focus on multi-skilling. So the more you are able to, if I have to hire between two of you, and one of you knows two cuisines and one of you is a specialist in only one cuisine, I'd rather go with somebody who knows more. So the more you are able to expand yourselves, stretch yourselves, and that is what I'm saying, make use of this time and learn as much as you can so that you are able to present more on the table when you sit for the interview. As far as the hiring is concerned, I will not be able to comment for other companies, but as an industry, I already know that hiring is happening. So maybe not as much as earlier, but see, please understand, a lot of our associates are now not able to travel from where they were. Some associates are not able to travel, some do not want to travel and now want to continue work from their hometowns. So we have also lost some associates on those grounds. So there will be need of associates. And for hotels, I know hotels in Gurgaon, for example, the Gateway Resort, Damdama Lake, they are open, guests are coming, it's in demand, but now we do not have the associates. So we are trying to get new associates. So I think I would say that hiring is open, just be in touch with your faculty and in the industry. And as far as IHCL is concerned, hiring is expected to start by Q4, not right now. But that's why don't be choosy, just see what are the options and go for the best at the moment.
Thank you so much. Anshu ma'am, back to you.
Our industry is such that there is no dearth of opportunity either. Maybe not today, but after 5 months, ours is a people industry, and we employ. We are one of the largest employers in the world when it comes to manpower. So we cannot, technology cannot really replace us. We will need you. We will need people to serve people. So right now, guests are not there. The moment guests come, we will need you. The moment more guests come, we full back to our 100% occupancies. We will need 100% of our employees. So don't worry about that. We're just waiting for guests to come, and then we'll call all of you.
I guess
Very rightly said, sir. So any more questions coming?
No, ma'am, questions are all done. We have actually had all the questions coming in.
Okay. Very rightly said, sir. This is the time to prepare ourselves for a better future. Thank you, Tushar, sir, for answering each question with such patience. Thank you for your interesting insights and such remarkable answers. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now, I would like to welcome our second speaker. She is a notable name.
Voice is breaking up. Anshu ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Your voice is breaking up.
Sir, please, can you unmute? I think the mic is creating some noise in between.
Okay, I guess it's back to normal now.
Yeah,
Yes.
now. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Tushar, sir, for answering each question. Now, I would like to welcome our second speaker. She is a notable name in the hotel industry, Ms. Shilpi, Complex Training Manager, Westin Gurgaon and Westin Sohna. She is a hospitality professional with more than 15 years of experience in the field of accommodation management, human resource management, training and development. She has been associated with world's leading hotel brands like Marriott International, Westin Hotels and Resorts, Imperial New Delhi, and Hyatt Regency. She is an alumnus of IIM Lucknow, and she is an excellent communicator possessing strong interpersonal, analytical, and problem-solving skills. We all welcome you, ma'am. Now over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Anshu. Thank you so much. I was all this while I was listening to Lawrence sir, Tushar. Tushar, I must say, a great presentation put together. Thank you, Ansel University, for inviting me the second time on the webinar series. In terms of putting the context right by Tushar, in terms of pandemic, Of course, there are a lot of studies, there is a lot of data, there's a lot of, there are a lot of new skills, which is available in the industry, which is available in the market at the moment. I just want to take you back here for a moment, and why we have the logistic and statistics available with us. There are a few more things that have happened in terms of not only hospitality as a world, not only manufacturing as a world, not only a university as a world, not only in terms of guests, associates, or students, let's say. Uh, we all were in, and I precisely believe that before this pandemic, there was a different world that we all were living in. There was a race which was happening. Of course, now it's the same, platform that we share. All different hotels, they come on the same platform. They talk almost the same language, how we are ready to welcome our guests once again. And, most of the hotels are opening their doors for new guests, for associates as well. However, the world before this pandemic was very, very different. When I say very different, it was a different world, it was a different race, it was a different competition altogether. This pandemic has actually created a good vacuum all around. And what in past 4-5 months, other than the logistics of hotels not been running on their optimum occupancies, associate not being able to join back work, so guests who have not been able to experience the hospitality as a world, as a leisure, or as a luxury traveler, or as a business traveler. While all this was happening, I have actually spent last 4 months in understanding an emotional, uncertainty which has built around everybody. So it's not only, I am not sure when I'm going to go back to work. It's not only an associate who's not sure who's going to go back to work. It's not only a guest who's sure, oh, when I'm going to eat my favorite food at my favorite restaurant, or when I'm going to celebrate my anniversary at a favorite location, or when I'm going to hit an international travel flight. So what has happened? People actually have been drained emotionally in the cloud of uncertainty. While I say so, what has incorporated in the minds of the traveler, in the minds of the people around in hospitality, is a fear factor. Will everything go back to normal? What will happen after a post-COVID era? When will COVID end? Will my life continue to be with COVID forever? When will that vaccine is going to be in place? And that's when the hotel industry, or let's say any other industry for that matter, has actually, and what Tushar in his presentation has actually put very well in terms of the skills that are required, the SOPs that have been changed, the world that has changed, and something very, very profoundly put there across, and Anshu, you repeated it once again. We learned something. We are in the process of unlearning all that, and now we are in a process of learning something new. I have been dealing with a lot of anxiety. People don't talk about it, and of course, they fear in their mind. And I'm sure this is not the fact which is hidden by anybody in terms of hospitality, or let's say any other industry. People have lost their jobs. Students have been, while they were in the month of February and March, while this lockdown was announced, they were in the summer batch, and they were continuing their hotel, their industrial training, and they were just given a provisional certificate and said, oh, please go back home, we have been hit by a pandemic in the world. Yeah, we will not be able to continue. Associate were stranded on annual leaves, whether they were they have gone back over a weekend, whether they have just taken a holiday for, let's say, any leave for 1 day or 2 day. The life became stranded. Everything stood still for months and months. And what happened? There were also, beautiful things that happened. Of course, I want to reiterate here what Tushar said, that it is important to upskill here. But is it only important to upskill the skills here that you have? So let's say how to serve a guest, or how to, use the right phraseology at a particular hotel, or how to, groom yourself into a new standard. Or maybe if I talk only in terms of, COVID-19, how do I wear gloves? How do I wash my hands? How do I, ensure a right PPE is there, or the right protocol is followed? I think where we lagged, or what we should try and focus also in terms, what I personally have been doing, in terms of reaching out to people emotionally. Hey, are you okay? Is, could be just a simple question. It is not that I sit back home and I enjoy doing this virtual session as trainers, and I'm sure Tushar is going to agree with me there. As facilitators, most of you, on the panel here are going to agree with me that we are people's person. We want to stand in the class. We want to, stand in an auditorium where there are about 200, 300 people, and we want to talk to them. So there's a lot of personal connect which was there. And at the moment, that personal connect, of course, technology has taken, a virtual screen has come here, which has replaced, the older, I would say, traditional way of training. This new way is fantastic. This new way is at your ease. You all are comfortably at your various destinations, and still there is a session which is happening. But what we are missing is, we are missing on that human factor. And if I take your attention back to today's topic of this webinar, it's about how do you reclaim that confidence back. And before anybody's confidence, Tushar very well put it across, saying that it is the associate who needs to feel confident about. So while my skills are okay, while I know I've taught them how to wash hands for 20 seconds, while I taught them these are the new SOPs, please sit back home and upgrade your skills. What have I done to ensure that they are not fearless, but that they come out of that uncertainty? What are certain steps that as an industry we have taken? And this is where I see that people have actually come out from that cocoon, people have actually come out from that shell. And I personally, as a mentor, so I don't call myself as a really a L&D expert. However, I have molded myself into a coach, into a mentor, into understanding people, listening, maybe just put somebody on a phone call for some time and understand. So you don't know, people have been trapped in their, I'll call it at this point of time, that enjoyment time was March, April, but the moment we hit June and now even July, and there is also a certain uncertainty in terms of our business, we don't know when we are going to hit back to our operations or to our hotels. We are trapped in a world wherein we are limited not in terms of our knowledge, limited in terms of a people touch, limited in terms of enjoying what we were already enjoying. Of course, new skills are in place, but mental health is also something which is very, very important. There are a lot of companies who have actually laid off their associate. So while there is a new batch every year that we are preparing from the universities, and these associate, these new candidates, these fresher or these management trainees are very uncertain as to will there be job opportunities for them. I am also concerned at the same time, are there enough job opportunities for the people who actually do not have job in the current scenario? And I completely resonate to what Tushar said. Of course, there are vacancies, there are opportunities. There are new hotels coming up at the same time. Different hotels have put their right protocol in place in terms of, for example, XYZ brand has Suraksha there, Taj is doing something else. Commitment to clean is what Marriott is doing, and also in terms of their online services like Marriott on Wheels or XYZ. I mean, there are many different hotels, many different brands who are reclaiming that we are ready to welcome you back, but we will only be able to welcome you back once we have our associate back with us. And I can only run a smooth business when I have my confident associate who's coming back to me, who is not scared, who's not worried, who is not uncertain, who is confident, who is emotionally balanced, who has been taken care well, and more or less, it's not a rat race anymore. So this time, actually, last 4 months have given all of us new opportunities to kind of sit back, think where we were heading. A very important point in the above presentation, was touched on the multi-skilling and upskilling. So I want to talk a little bit about multi-skilling here. So multi-skilling is not only that, as an associate, I know X job and now I know Y job as well. It is also that, I was aligned to a front office job. Can I become a salesperson? Or is my interest lies in human resources, or my interest lies in L&D? Can I explore few more avenues and opportunities which do not only restrict to hospitality, but also opens the gate of other industries? So multi-skilling is definitely going to be, talk of the hour, need of the hour, and moving forward is what our expectations from people who are still not back at work, people who are looking for jobs, people who are very uncertain of as to what is happening. And to conclude, what I have to say here, I'm just, a firm believer that COVID is not going to go away. And this is something that we need to now learn to live with. And the new term, the new normal, which we are calling it for hospitality, which we are calling it for other industries as well, survive and sustain is that you accept it and you accept to learn with it. You accept to move forward from here. You accept it as a way of life. Of course, the vaccine will be in place. Of course, the new protocols and new SOPs will be in place. This all will come very handy to you. But at this point of time, create a fair balance between you as a person, your mental health, which is which is very, very important, and also the skills which currently you have and how you have made yourself maybe upskilled or a multi-skilled person at the same time. Thank you, and over to you, Anshu.
Thank you, Shilpi ma'am. Actually, ma'am, you were so positive and you were so optimistic that I could actually feel your positivity. I don't know about others, but listening to you are creating, a certain kind of aura in this webinar. I thank you so much for your exorbitant views on the theme. Now, I would like to open the session for the questions.
Sure.
We have a question coming in. I'm sure it's from a third-year student. They are asking, like, a person graduating right now should be focusing on what exactly in the front office department? So some new kind of softwares or something you should be focusing on learning. And where exactly can you find that data to learn?
Thank you, Sunil sir. I think this is a very apt question, understanding the current situation. And while Tushar has already briefed us about, what are these skills and what are these set of skills, I would say in terms of your knowledge that you need to upgrade to, trust me, people, at hotel end, what has actually changed is nothing. When you check in into a hotel, there is a face mask which has been made mandatory. Which has been made mandatory by Government of India, that you step out, just wear a face mask. There may be shields which have come at the front office, I would say the check-in desk or the reception desk. But in terms of protocol, making a booking, arrival of the guest, the registration card formalities, rooming, check-in, and finally your stay still stays intact. So at the moment, I really want to focus and emphasize on that back to basic is still the key for a hospitality professional. You need to know how to groom yourself well. You need to know how to put that smile on. Even if there is a pandemic which is around, it's absolutely okay. You still need to be highly positive when you're welcoming a guest, because in terms of checking in, there's nothing which has changed. It is only the external elements which have been added. So you might want to sanitize your pen once again. And I'm sure there are a lot of hotel, a lot of industry, I would say, they have actually put their videos on the on social media. And I also have gone through a lot of videos around saying that right from a car arrival, how your doorman is greeting you, it's same, it's namaste or it's hello, good morning, whichever hotel, whatever protocol they're following. So the guest still sits in your car, the guest still books it online, the guest still lands on your lobby. So what has changed? Tell me. Actually, there is nothing which has changed. So you have to kind of, ensure that your back to basic things are absolutely intact, they're strong. And what new technologies? So maybe few hotels, which are, let's say, a select service brand, could, implement a kiosk to check in. So you might need to learn how a kiosk check-in or a self check-in process happens. Vis-a-vis to a luxury hotel or to a bigger hotel, the check-in process remains the same. Your night audit remains the same. Your SOPs for departure of a guest, arrival of a guest, room booking, making a reservation absolutely remains the same. COVID has not changed the ABC. We still count it from A, B, C. We're not counting from Z, X, and like backward. We are not doing that. So absolutely remains the same. Just that the hygiene factor, the personal sanitization, so that spread of infection and all that is taken care. And that is what at the moment a front office professional at the same time is also required to have, good computer skills, good computer knowledge, opera, in case you can learn opera. Not sure other than opera, other than a hotel opera, how will you be able to, kind of upskill that? But go back to basics. Basics have still not changed. And I don't think so hospitality uh, anytime soon is going to change the basics. So if basic says welcome the guest at the arrival of the main porch, it still will continue. It still will continue. That's
Shilpi
all. I
ma'am.
hope I've been able to answer.
Yeah, Shilpi ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I definitely, being from the education industry and being a part of hotel industry, I agree with you that the basics haven't changed. But what I feel is with this COVID, a major handicap which has come, our industry was all about warmth and transpiring that human touch and those
Absolutely.
feelings. Now, I feel with all the protective gears and the masks, I mean, first we used to pick up our students. If somebody has a beautiful smile, yes, you're in. That is what. So how the industry is basically dealing with that we physically can't, or body language, with the body language, we can't show the warmth. So is it affecting? I'm sure it must be affecting, because what I feel is the hospitality industry would have become very clinical with just the basics being there, yes, and operations, but the whole warmth would have gone out. So what is the effort being done in that aspect that still we connect with our customers?
Thank you, Karim. I think it's a very apt question, understanding, current situation, that while we are into PPEs, while there are masks on. And I would also, invite Tushar, in case you want to add here, please feel free to add to what I'm going to say here. As a company, what we have done, we have actually taken our associate back to basics. So I'll tell you, half of my, or maybe 3/4 of my face is covered with the mask, and still I have to wear that smile. So what we have done at Marriott India Hotel, especially, we have I would say, resurfaced the way how we greet our guests, or re-emphasized on certain body languages or certain new normals that we are going to implement in terms of ensuring that the guest still feels welcome. Of course, your smile happens from two channels, from your, if you see, out of 5 sides, from your eyes and from your mouth. While your mouth is still covered with a mask, you still are able to smile with your eyes. Your body language, of course, I understand that, most of the cases there'll be like big PPEs, or people are, trapped in their jackets, and they have face shields and all. Nobody stops me in saying, folding my hands and saying namaste. And I think Taj very well does that. Leela does that. Marriott does that across India. We fold our hands, we bow down, and, we still say namaste. So the warmth comes from how your body has been positioned in front of the guest, and what you say at this point of time. While I may not be able to put a bright smile, you may not be able to see that right smile on my face, I still smile from my eyes. And the hotels, and trust me, I mean, if Tushar can just add in here, I myself have done a couple of trainings in the past, in the month of past few months, in just reassuring that people, let's learn how to say namaste once again. Let's learn how to bow down once again. Let's learn some, Indian way of welcoming our guest once again, because guest will be full of fear. So I'm going to enter into a hotel. I don't know how safe it is. My associates are going to be full of fear, and they say, oh, the guest is coming from outside. I am not sure whether he's carrying an infection of COVID or not. So am I supposed to be getting scared of the situation? No, the idea is we only open when we are 100% sure that our associates are ready, we have the right gears in place, and there is warmth which is still existing in the hospitality, and that's when we are hospitality. We are, and I completely agree with Tushar. Of course, I saw one of the picture which has, a lady in a bathrobe is taking something out from a bottler. So bottler was a concept by, one of the companies which existed in the past. But I still need somebody to give me a glass of water. That's what is hospitality. Otherwise, otherwise I'm a robot. Hospitality cannot be robotic. I would still need, and what Tushar very well said, that people will still need people to serve them. And there are ways and there are means by which body language, I mean, of course, Anshu can get those positive vibes. I think that's how we train our people. That's the positivity that we, that we spread around the organization, that our associate feel comfortable, they feel welcome, our guests feel comfortable and they feel welcome, and ensuring that the right protocols in terms of safety and hygiene are taken care. I'm not taking away the fact. I myself, as a customer, have been visiting, those daily shops, and even our shopkeeper, for that matter, has that mask. The way he says "Namaste" to me, "Ma'am, bataiye, what do you want? Kya chahiye aapko?" I think makes a lot of sense, makes a lot of difference there. I hope I've been able to answer. Tushar, why don't you add something here?
No, I think you've said it all. Actually, so warmth comes not only from your smile, like you said, it comes through your facial gestures, it comes through the way you move your hands, it comes through the way you stand and be confident and still welcome the guests in spite of being 2 feet away. It comes, 2 meters away. It comes when you are, when your service through the stay is also good. Now we've had guests who've been restricted to their rooms for about a week or 14 days, and there has been no contact except welcome, and then rest has been all on the phone, and we've actually been leaving food, amenities, everything outside the door on a table. But still, if the guest checks out saying that your staff was very warm, it comes across through you giving timely service, through you giving having a never say no attitude, by you having so those little things also matter. I think smile is just one aspect. Yes, we are actually also exploring masks which are transparent where you can see the smile, but I think focus is now also on other aspects of grooming, your eye makeup, your hairstyle, your the design of the uniform and the mask. And I think most importantly, like she said, your like Shilpi said, your welcome, hand gestures, movements, expressions. I mean, they're all over your body, so everything matters.
Thank you, Tushar.
Thank you.
We have one question coming in. What kind of changes can we expect in the management training programs in the future? The MT programs.
To answer that question, Sunil sir, I think it is again, so you see the kind of questions that we get. So it's a lot of uncertainty in terms of everybody's mind. And, as an associate, I am also very uncertain when I'm going to welcome back my associate, my trainees, when I'm going to welcome back these students from the hospitality world, from the universities to my hotel. So coming back to this question on management training program, so far for 2020, the guidelines remains the same. However, in terms of the management training program, while the associate have been, affected in terms of either they were stranded back at home, they were working from home, and hotels, as Tushar rightly said, are working only on minimum like 30% occupancies. The management training program at various brands have also kind of taken a hit here in terms of the extension period. So nothing has changed in terms of protocol. I still do my regular virtual calls with the management trainee, that I deal with. So in terms of curriculum, whatever online that they can learn and they can finish, absolutely. However, very important point. So for example, this is the time when most of them go on a cross exposure from one department to another department, from a front office to a housekeeping or housekeeping to a culinary. This has been kind of extended. So this has been further extended, that as in when we open the hotel, so let's say from a 30 we move to a 50% or 70% occupancy, we will also ensure that the management training program runs the way it is. And at the moment, management trainees are completely a part of the company. In terms of curriculum, there are no changes other than the extension that has been given to. So for example, if somebody was passing out in the month of January, might pass out in the month of June or July next year. That's the only change. However, in terms of recruitment, in terms of the curriculum, in terms of the cross exposure or department rotation, so far things remains the same. And we also haven't heard from the brand that how things are going to change in that perspective, other than just finishing whatever has not been, whatever has been incomplete during this duration can be completed into before their program ends. So it's just the extension. Nothing drastically has changed in terms of guideline. Tushar, feel free to please add something in terms of this.
So thanks, Shilpi. In our case, we've also extended the current batch, which is ongoing. They will be having 2 or 3 months of extension, especially the batch which was only 1 year. But batches like 2 year batches, which were for food production, because they've already done significant part of that 2 years, we will not be extending. So they'll be graduating as per the timelines. The batch which was to join this year, the joining has been deferred because major cities are shut. So the joining has been deferred to October. So the program, which would start in usually July, August, will now start in October. As of now, is what we are communicating. But again, may change. We don't know how it will shape up. Maybe next month also. But currently, as we speak, it will start in October. But again, 2021 batch may start on time or may also start in October. That is for time to tell. So that is the only difference. Instead of starting this month, it may start 3 months later, this year and next year. That will be the only difference.
It's only the extension. Thank you, Tushar. Just the extension of time period, and we are also very uncertain as to when things will kick it off in terms of 100% or let's say 70% occupancies. At the moment, in terms of curriculum, there has been no change. I hope that answers Sunil.
I have one question for Tushar.
Yes, please.
Hi, Tushar. How you been?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, fine, thank you. Acha, now the financial year at the end of which this COVID happened, let's say March, April, was at the tail end of the financial year of 1920. And
Yes.
much before that, you would have done your budgeting for 2021, which has also gone haywire. It's gone. So, what do you think? How will you budget for the next year? Because everything has gone haywire. Not only will you have to try and get back what you have lost, and probably you'll have to look at those new avenues of business. Because room
True. So
business might not pick up very fast. So, what are these new avenues of business that we are thinking about? Because my son also is in hotels. He did ITC, and they have said that we are introducing a few products. In fact, we are making a few gravies and few products, and we're going to sell them, and we'll probably have chefs going in people's places and cooking as well. So, what have the Taj thought about it? What do they want to do now? Because
business definitely.
other allied businesses are equally important because room business will take a long time to pick up.
Yes, so that's a good question. I think, like I mentioned earlier, also strategies have changed, the forecasts have changed. Earlier, we would make budgets for the year and for the quarter. Now we are making, forecasts and budgets every week. So we are not anticipating what will happen or what we will do 1 month down the line, but next week, for example. So that is one aspect. Secondly, we are looking at new avenues. I gave you some examples of, outdoor hospitality at home, for example. So earlier hotels were not focusing on food deliveries. Now, so there are two. Again, we are focusing on both accommodations and F&B. So accommodations, a lot of hotels are trying to pitch in for whether it is Vande Bharat or even now quarantine guests. You can book quarantine guests through travel agencies also. So either Vande Bharat or quarantine is what hotels are pitching for. I think in Delhi, the hotels which are now attached to COVID patients are currently waiting for guests because the hotels are still not getting enough patients. So that is a small aspect, but hotels which are serving Vande Bharat and quarantine are getting enough guests. I think more than 50% occupancy is happening in hotels. As far as accommodations is concerned, the F&B revenue is openly happening through in-room dining because restaurants are shut, and hence we have started either takeaways or home deliveries. We are planning to have bartender programs at home. We are also focusing on wedding queries. So a lot of wedding queries are now coming for the winter season. So we're not sure how many numbers we'll be able to accommodate depending on the guest government guidelines. But at least we know there will be a lot of wedding dates in winters, and guests who have moved their weddings to winters are now coming back with those queries. So we are reworking our entire banquets, strategy over there. So yes, a lot of focus on F&B, takeaway, home delivery, home service, outdoor, which is home, weddings, which we are preparing for the future, for the winter. These are the avenues at the moment. I don't think spas are shut, gyms, pools are shut uh, in Delhi, especially. So we're not sure when that will open. These are the little avenues that we are trying to go with.
Yeah, I know, but it is difficult for you to do any kind of a budgeting or forecasting as to how much you can do in these avenues because it's so uncertain.
Yes, please understand this is also a new business for many of these companies. So this is not something that we have, for example, a data to compare with last year, or we don't have any competition data available. So currently, on what is for example, last week or last day's business, and what is the competition doing in last 1 week. So we are relying on data, which is a very short-term data, and we are also predicting and forecasting for a very short future. That's how we survive. We're just trying to also ensure that we maintain our break even, or we do not run our costs more than our revenues. I think that is the focus at the moment. Because even if we have 5 guests, our hotels open just 5 or 10 guests right now, most of our costs are so high that we are running, with more cost than revenue. So we are trying to at least offset our costs by that much of revenue.
Yeah, I know. I can tell you that because even the ITC hotels are just gunning for breaking even and you're just
Yes.
surviving or keeping afloat. That is what is
Yes. True.
happening. But thank you,
Thank you.
Anshu.
Thank you, Tushar sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shilpi ma'am, for answering each and every question with such an pace. And all your answers were just brilliant. And we want to listen to both of, but we have to go ahead. Actually, it's been an honor to be among such accomplished individuals and to listen to their perspectives. But we have to go ahead now. Our Chief Marketing Officer, Mr. Amit Full, will throw some light on the admission process of the prestigious Hotel School, Gurgaon. After his talk, we will take you through an enthralling and mind-boggling video of our campus, and we will be also showcasing the life of the students at Ansel University. After the video, we will open the session for questions and queries related to admissions. I request Amit sir.
I thank you, Professor Anshu. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yes.
I'm here to give some, overview from the marketing point of view. But let me begin by thanking both the esteemed speakers for the session today, for sparing time for all our students and parents. I think it was a very, very enriching session, and I must compliment Tushar and Shilpi, both of them. I think this will go a long way in bringing out the best of knowledge for our students. So thank you again for that.
Thank you.
And I think with my limited expertise on hospitality sector, I think one thing that I really took away from this session is the fact that hospitality and tourism is all about customer delight. And this is the time to upskill yourself, as everyone was mentioning. And if you feel that this is the time to upskill yourself, if I can use a quote, in fact, from hospitality parlance, which says that either you disrupt yourself today or you get ready to be eaten up for lunch. So, I think if you feel that Hotel and Tourism Business School is the right place where you can upskill yourself during this, uncertain times, so that you will be industry ready once the course is finished. I'd like to share the process of admission and the kind of procedure that we are following at the School of Hospitality here at Ansel University. So I'll just request for the slides to come up for that. As Mr. Laurent has already shared, we have the bachelor's program, which is a 4-year program. It's a bachelor's of hotel management under Hotel and Tourism Business School. The eligibility over here, we are looking at an overall of 50% aggregate in your plus two result, including English as a mandatory subject. We are also offering a master's program, which is an MBA in hospitality management, which is a rarity in today's time. And we have gone ahead and launched this program this year. And it's a 2-year duration. We are looking at an aggregate of 50% marks for the bachelor stream, and it can be any stream that will make you eligible for this particular program. The admission process that we are following is completely online. As you see, that has been there for other universities. We have an application form which is there on our website. Our counselor is also in touch with most of the applicants on a regular basis. After you fill the application form, you will be requested to submit certain relevant documents related to your class 12th or your bachelor's degree program. And of course, that will be followed by an aptitude test, which is also a sort of a scholarship test, and bases your performance in that particular test, as well as the documents that you share, along with a personal interview round that is conducted by the faculty in charge as well as the dean. There are 2 rounds of interviews, and then we select the right candidate who has the right aptitude to do the hotel management program at Hotel and Tourism Business School. In case of MBA, we are not looking at an aptitude test there, because we already have a feeling from your bachelor's program about your aptitude overall. So we look at a personal interview round followed by the selection letter, and that's how our counselor is in constant touch with all the applicants there. So I'd like to also highlight that in today's time, when there is little bit of certainty that is coming up with regards to your class 12th results, and as well as with regards to many career opportunities that will be opening up once you are a graduate from a hospitality school, we are receiving a number of applications on a regular basis. Our application number has increased day in, day out. So we want that the entire process is absolutely smooth, and an entire process is managed very, very efficiently for you. So we would encourage that all of you please get in touch with our counselor, so that on a regular basis we can schedule your interviews accordingly. We also have some very special scholarships that are offered this time around, especially in the wake of COVID. And our school has launched a scholarship which is for entry level for BHM programs, basis your class 12th result, which will be announced in just a few days from now. There are certain slabs from 25% of the tuition fees of first semester to up to 100% of the tuition fees of first semester is what is available for you to gain as a scholarship on entry level basis itself. We have also launched a composite scholarship, which is actually sorry, this one is NCHM CT JE entrance exam, which is a national catering council for hotel management and catering technology joint entrance test. If someone has appeared for this particular exam, and if your ranks are in this range, then of course we are offering a similar slab, which is a 25% on the first year tuition fee, as well as up to 100% of first year tuition fees as a scholarship, which is available for those who have appeared for this particular exam. We have also launched a composite scholarship, and this is what I was referring to a while ago, where on the basis of your class 12th result, as well as your performance in this exam, which is VHTBS, which is Hotel Tourism Business School exam, we are giving a 50% weightage to your class 12th result, as well as 50% weightage to your exam result. And then again, a composite scholarship, which is entitling you for a 25% scholarship on the first year tuition fees to up to 100% scholarship on the first year tuition fees. This is a very, 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 very good scholarship opportunity, especially during this time. And that has given enough, leeway for our students to take advantage of this during the time where the financial constraints are also seen for some of our, prospective students. So keeping in view of all these scholarships have also been launched. Our team will be in constant touch with all of you. We have also come up with special scholarship on COVID specifically, where for all the undergrad students, we are giving them a 25%, and it's an opportunity to actually gain a 25% first year tuition fees. And for all the postgrad students, we are giving an opportunity to gain 25% on first semester tuition fees as a scholarship opportunity. So you see, we have a package of scholarship opportunities for all the meritorious students. And as I said, we are receiving a number of applications, and all these scholarships will be limited in number. So it is requested that you remain in touch and make your application submit at the same time on a regular basis, so that we are in touch with you. And for any specific query related to admission process, please feel free to you connect with our admission counselor, Mr. Puneet Satwani. He's been the senior most counselor counseling for the School of Hotel and Tourism Business, and he will be further delighted to interact with all of you and clear any of your queries that you may have. The endeavor is to make the process very, very efficient and smooth for all of you. I'll request to play the campus video now, and I'm here to address any queries that may be there for anything related to admission process.
Campus is filled with playgrounds, cafes, and gymnasiums. Our cultural calendar is always filled with upcoming events where students become the teacher of their own act. With our prime location, it is very easy for the students to commute to metro and college buses. On-campus boys and girls hostel gives you a feeling of home.
As you can see, campus life is in teaching the students. We also run a tennis academy, local sports. This is
very good, not because of the environment also, but it is safe for girls.
This campus is for teachers and persons truly deserve. All the 8 schools at our campus have their own state-of-the-art libraries. Students can access them anytime they want. A student is often by the name of the institution associated with this education, and I feel proud to be a student of School of Law and Civil University.
University has not only contributed to my growth as an architecture student, but also as a person tremendously with the help of TDS, that is transdisciplinary learning, which happens here. It helps me so much to interact and even learn from different schools. For me, it is all about self-discovery. So I came to this school that I'm studying interior designing, but obviously foundation happened and I obviously discovered myself. I did a hotel management investment in Assam University. It's given me an insight of how the hotel industry operates.
Coming here has not only helped me imbibe knowledge, but also aided me in developing my overall personality.
Anshu ma'am, we are back on.
Now we are open for any kind of questions and queries related to admissions. If you have any questions, please ask.
Do you have any question coming up in the chat box?
One can always visit our website as well. All the related queries related to admissions, scholarships, everything is mentioned there. The details of our counselors are also mentioned there. And we encourage you to actually visit our website once. And of course, in a slow and steady manner, when we'll be opening the campus again, we look forward to welcoming you at the campus where we can show you the entire infrastructure, and we can always interact with the hospitality school professors as well as the dean on a personal level as well.
Sunil sir, any questions?
No, ma'am, the questions are not there. Anshu ma'am, we are back on.
Okay, sir.
We can move to closing.
Now we have come to the end of this wonderful webinar. Thank all the speakers for their valuable time And thank you everyone for attending this webinar. You can watch our recorded video on the YouTube channel Vatel India. Stay tuned for our next webinar on paradigm shift in housekeeping during new normal COVID-19 on 25th of July. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.